What do CEOs really do, and why do they get paid so much?
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Is Elon Musk a truly good CEO, or is there more beneath the surface? And why are there so many guys starting their own businesses and being the CEO? How many executives are in your one-person t-shirt printing business? Chief executive officers, or CEOs, are often seen as the face of their companies, commanding vast resources and making decisions that shape industries and economies. They're hailed as visionaries when times are good and scrutinized when things go awry. But beyond the public personas and the media spotlight, what do CEOs actually do day to day? And does higher compensation really correlate to better company performance? The role of a CEO is multifaceted, encompassing various strategic planning, operational management, and stakeholder engagement, which are a lot of buzzwords that CEOs use to, I don't know, what does it all mean?
It's the sort of tough choice people need to be able to make.
I mean, the purpose of the role at its heart is setting the long-term vision and goals for the company. They define the organization's direction by crafting a clear vision that guides its strategies and operations. For instance, Jeff Bezos' focus on customer obsession and long-term thinking propelled Amazon from an online bookstore to a global e-commerce and cloud computing giant.
Jeffrey Bezos.
It turned Amazon from a little online bookstore to a global e-commerce and cloud computing giant. Similarly, CEOs drive innovation by fostering a culture that encourages new ideas, as seen with Satya Nadella's leadership at Microsoft, which revitalized the company through an emphasis on cloud computing and artificial intelligence. But they're not really doing any of the work or research, so it really just sounds like the boss taking credit for things.
Right. We haven't filed it yet, but that's good to go, right?
Decision making is another critical aspect of the CEO's role. They make pivotal corporate decisions about mergers and acquisitions and entering new markets. The acquisition of Instagram and WhatsApp under Zuckerberg of Facebook's leadership, now Meta Platforms, was a fantastic deal and a decision. The CEOs determine where to invest time, capital, and human resources to maximize returns. They're the captains of the ship. They understand that effective allocation can lead to sustainable growth, while poor choices can be devastating.
Because none of you, not one, is not a single day of work.
Building and leading teams is essential for a CEO. They have to assemble a strong leadership team and foster a productive company culture. This involves talent acquisition and development, such as hiring top executives and nurturing talent within organizations. Indra Nooyi, as CEO of PepsiCo, emphasized diversity and inclusion.
I really need to get to the bottom of that.
This strengthened the company's leadership pipeline by focusing on more diverse talent. Motivating employees is also crucial. CEOs like Richard Branson of Virgin Group are also known for creating employee-centric approaches, creating environments where staff are engaged and in line with the company's mission. CEOs are ultimately accountable for the financial health of a company. They ensure profitability and growth by meeting financial targets and delivering shareholder value, overseeing budgets to align with strategic goals, and implementing cost-saving measures are absolutely necessary when it's a part of their financial oversights. They also need to uphold the ethical standards and compliance of the corporation or company. CEOs, they need to make sure that there's regulatory compliance by adhering to laws and avoid certain legal pitfalls, and identify potential risks and implement strategies to mitigate them. This includes things like cybersecurity, market risks, or reputational damage. CEOs, they seem to be the guy making the choices or decisions. Nobody really wants to make choices anymore because nobody wants to be responsible for it. The CEO is the person making the choice to do this rather than that, and to be blamed for it at the end of the day. And that's useful.
Nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles.
While CEOs delegate day-to-day tasks, they remain responsible for the overall operations. They oversee performance by monitoring key indicators to ensure the company stays on track. That's why they're in so many meetings. They're trying to get information from the tasks that they delegated. Tim Cook of Apple maintains a focus on operational excellence and supply chain management, ensuring products meet a quality standard and are delivered efficiently. In times of crisis, CEOs lead the company through challenges such as economic downturns or public relations issues. Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, steered the company through massive recalls and shifted focus towards electric vehicles, demonstrating resilience and forward thinking. Effective communication with stakeholders is also a really vital component to the CEO's role. They engage the stakeholders to build confidence in the company's direction. This is often exemplified by Warren Buffett's transparent annual letters to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Serving as the public face of the company, CEOs represent their organizations at conferences, in interviews, and social media platforms. Although Elon Musk showed that CEOs should probably set their social media on fire unless they want a visit from the SEC.
Hi, this is Gary Gensler.
Now, despite these significant responsibilities, or stressors at the most, a pressing question remains. Does the higher CEO pay translate to better company performance? One study examined the pay of over 800 CEOs at 429 large and medium-sized companies in the US between 2005 and 2014. It also analyzed the total shareholder returns of these companies during the same period. Findings were interesting. Companies with the highest paid CEOs, the top 20%, delivered lower shareholder returns compared to those with lower paid CEOs, the bottom 20%. Specifically, $100 invested in companies with the highest paid CEOs would have grown to $265 over 10 years, while the same investments in companies with the lowest paid CEOs would have grown to $367. This trend persists even when adjusting for company size, industry sector, and suggests that the correlation between high CEO pay and lower company performance is widespread. One possible explanation for this is that the higher paid CEOs are driven by short-term, high compensation packages that are tied to immediate performance metrics. Such structures might incentivize CEOs to prioritize short-term gains over long-term stability and growth. Excessive pay can also lead to overconfidence, and this can make CEOs aggressive in the moves that they make that don't always yield positive results. Moreover, when CEOs have significant control over their pay without sufficient oversight from the board or shareholders, their interests might not align with those of the company or its investors. It looks like the sacred fiduciary duty is not being taken seriously. Surprise, surprise. The implications for corporate governance are significant here. It suggests that we need to reconsider how CEOs are being compensated, potentially shifting towards long-term performance incentives that align more closely with sustainable company growth. Enhanced transparency, such as requiring detailed disclosure of cumulative incentive pay over extended periods, can also help stakeholders better assess the alignment between CEO compensation and the company performance. By doing so, companies can foster a culture of accountability and ensure that executive interests are more closely tied to those of the shareholders and other stakeholders. The assumption that generous compensation packages attracts the best talent and motivates superior performance is shed into doubt.
I feel I need to check my emails.
Notable examples include instances where CEOs receive substantial pay even when their companies underperform. For instance, during periods where a company's stock stagnated or declined, certain CEOs still enjoyed significant compensation increases. Conversely, some successful companies are led by CEOs with comparatively modest salaries, indicating that high pay isn't a prerequisite for effective leadership. It suggests that factors like vision, leadership style, or strategic decision making, it plays a more crucial role in a company's success than compensation alone. Rather than compensation, we need to focus on qualities like vision, leadership style, strategic decision making that are more critical in a company's success. And it's a little outrageous how the income between the CEO and the lowest paid worker has grown over the years. It's really like a king and a peasant instead of colleagues. It's really important to understand, what your CEO does at your company. While they control the direction of the company's future, their effectiveness is determined not just by their decisions, but also by how they align with the company's long-term success and how their incentives align with that. The best CEOs are good leaders. They're not only driving profitability, but they also foster sustainable growth, ethical practices, and make a positive impact on their employees and create a community for them. A shift in what we look for in CEOs could lead to more sustainable business practices, improved company performance, and greater satisfaction for not only shareholders, but their employees. I still think CEO is a made-up job for rich people, like those board directors that rake in six-figure salaries for attending like 4 meetings a year. But, I love a good scam.
Ever get used to the fact that most of the time it looks like you're doing nothing?
On, Jeff.